Are we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not. Hi there, and welcome to Better Than Not, the podcast that aims to capture shifting perspectives and thought-provoking ideas in conversation, based loosely on my series, A Changing Frame of Reference, which you can read on the Substack app. I hope you will, as it might give you some insight into what the podcast is all about. I'm your host, Doug Gardam, and I'm excited and pleased to welcome my guest today, Peter Cardinali. Peter, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm excited to have you on today. Peter we met through a mutual friend, Craig Collette, who's been on the podcast before, who's also in the music business, as you'll learn, and had fortunately connected Peter and I for this conversation today. Peter is the president of Alma Records. He's a producer, arranger, a musician, in particular, a bass player. He's also a member of the Boomers band, which we will talk a little bit as well about. So, Peter, I'm going to probably be missing all kinds of stuff there, but I think that captured a lot of the stuff that has brought us together today.
Yes, you absolutely have. Those are the main things.
You are very busy because we've been several months in getting this kind of arranged finally today. So that's kind of a cool thing too.
Yes. Well, when it rains, it pours around here. It's just, I generally take on way too much, and not because I'm forced to, but I just love doing all these things that I do. So.
Well, it's like I said, we'll get into it today because it sounds like it's quite interesting. What I kind of was going to start on though, Peter, is what was the first time that you can remember connecting with music? Because today it's kind of your life, I think, or a big part of it. But there must have been a time that something connected with you. Do you remember when that was?
Well, I can specifically remember at least 2 or 3
Oh, wow.
life-altering moments, So, I was interested in music from, when I was 5 or 6 or,
Oh, really?
before I could really remember. Yeah. My first memories of that was my brother, being from a good Italian family. Accordion was the first thing that, that popped up.
Accordion.
Yeah, accordion. And I was intrigued, all these buttons and,
Oh, yeah.
Of course, So my brother, who's 5 years older, they picked him to take accordion. Well, they didn't pick him, but he was old enough,
Right.
the right age, And so I quickly found out he had no interest in playing accordion or music. So, I'd watch him stuff comic books in his accordion case, take it downstairs to the basement in the playroom, we call it, and he with one hand, just kind of moved the
No
accordion
way.
and down, made these horrible sounds because he wasn't playing any notes that made any sense, And the other hand, reading the comic book. So that was, so, I went to my mom and I snitched on him and I said, he doesn't like playing accordion. He's not practicing. He's, just reading his comics. I want to take accordion lessons. So we switched.
Really?
Yeah, win-win. I got to study accordion, and he got to not study accordion, and
read his comics uninterrupted.
So
You were
that was
quite a bit younger than he was.
5 years younger. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it was already kind of in your head, the music thing.
Absolutely was. So I continued on, taking lessons, and I had a ball, and I was really, really enjoying it. And then the other defining moment of that young career or the young, like fall in love with music thing, we used to go to New York all the time and visit our relatives.
Oh, okay.
So the whole drive down, I mean, not the drive down, but we get to their place, in the US, the houses are bigger and much more area between the houses and all that. There's a rolling bungalow. And, he was a cousin that my parents didn't want me to hang with.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 12 kids in that family. But, I love being around Joey. Joey was his name, is his name. I can remember the smell and the sound of me walking down the hallway of that bungalow and getting closer to the sound of a guitar that he was playing.
Oh boy.
He had a brand new guitar. I could smell, Craig would like this story. I
Yes.
could smell the new equipment,
Oh wow.
just with the tubes when they heat up, the smell and makes whatever, and the sound. And I just lost it. And I went, okay, I have to get one of these. So the whole way home,
Oh
I
wow.
mean, it's tough bringing it up. But the whole way home, I had to talk my parents into buying me a guitar now.
That's
And like
crazy.
I said, being Italian, and what, you're giving up accordion? Anyway, by the time we got to Toronto, I had my guitar.
No way.
Yeah.
And
So,
you're like 6 or 7 years old now?
yeah, yeah, I would say so, 6 or 7.
Oh wow.
So now I go to school. Yeah, 6. I would say, yeah, 7.
Amazing.
So 3 brothers in the neighborhood, they wanted to start a band. It's fabulous how
Oh,
people that are so keen on music
oh,
find the other people that are keen on music,
yep.
and kind of gravitate to each other. So we started our first rehearsal. It was 3 guitars and a drummer. Right? So they looked at me, who just got a brand new, talked my parents into buying me this new guitar.
Oh boy.
They turned to me and said, why don't you play bass? And I said, no chance. I'm not playing bass. For 6 months, I think it was maybe 6 months. I don't know. Could have been 1 month. That was a long time ago. I wouldn't give in, So every rehearsal is 3 guitars and a drummer, and they're going, hey, we really need a bass player. Yeah, I know, it's not me. So you ever heard of that game Buck Buck?
Yes.
I'm going into like a long story here as an introduction, give you an
It's
idea where I'm
cool.
coming from. So, the big guy in Buck Buck is usually up against the fence or the wall because everybody else, Hugs makes the big line down, and it's a really intelligent game. Whoever can hold the most people on their backs
Ah.
wins, right? So the opposing team goes Buck Buck number 1 as he's running down and trying to get to the front. Well, this is in winter, and I'm in the front, like the anchor, in the front, and my tongue got stuck on the fence
Oh.
in
No.
the middle of winter.
Oh.
Okay, so one of the guys that was in the line on our team of the Buck Buck line was Vic, one of the 3 brothers
Oh,
that
right.
and he went, and he comes over to me very coolly, very cool. He says, "You need some help?" I
Ah.
said, "Yeah, my tongue stuck on the fence." Yeah. He says, "Well, I'll help you off if you play bass." And I
Oh,
went, "Okay." What am I going to say? And that's what started. And I'll tell you what, that was like a really great thing because look at my hands, they're like, you know,
they
when
look
I,
like Elton John's hands.
yeah, kind of, but they're not guitar hands, I'll tell you that. So, from that moment on, I played bass, and that was it.
Really? Well,
Anyway,
it's funny you say that because I was thinking of the thing out of The Godfather to you keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer.
that's right. Yeah. That's a line right up there with leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah.
So while your tongue is stuck to the fence, you're nearly in pain. He's
Yep.
making a deal to be the bass player. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So what can I do? He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
No,
If
that's
we're going
very
to
cool.
keep in with the Godfather thing.
So you're still like pretty young, right?
Yeah. I started at a really early age. Well, yeah, with the accordion going up to here.
Wow.
And that group, we went through a few iterations of it. It was the Rubber Souls when we first started.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, yeah, which is great. And then it ended up as the Death. It was an
Yeah.
R&B, yeah, it was a soul R&B band, kind of almost modeled after the Mandela at the time, if you remember that.
Oh,
Donnie Triano and George Oliver and Whitey Glenn. Um,
wow.
yeah, we went to Europe. We toured when I was 12. Went to Europe,
Well,
yeah, with the three brothers. To this day, my mother wells up when you talk about it. She says, "I don't want to talk about it." It was difficult for her. There's three brothers on the other side. So
oh, wow.
I don't know. Their parents didn't care as much or whatever. I shouldn't say that, but it's like there's three against two.
So
But
you've got like a manager and things like that that's putting
yeah,
this together to go to Europe.
yeah. The Italy was our first stop, and the editor for Corriere Canadese, the Italian paper in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
It was his brainchild. Say, hey, let's bring these fellas over there. They'll dye their hair white. We dyed our hair white,
Oh, wow.
totally against my parents' wishes. That point you're 12, but there's a funny thing in music. It's like no matter what, the band comes first.
Oh, wow. You couldn't say better words, actually.
Yeah,
Because
the band.
if it doesn't Peter, it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. And it's a real strong connection, real strong commitment that everybody makes when they take the jump. But nobody thinks of it as a jump.
No.
It's just like, oh, this is my life music.
And it's real.
And yeah, it's for some people they're able to live through it and become what they wanted to become,
Wow.
and other people not. It's not an easy the whole
No.
music thing, the like the level of commitment. They say that athletes. I mean, you look at athletes and they train their whole life.
Yep.
Doctors spend so much time, in school and practicing and all that. I would I'd venture to say that being a musician is maybe even more time and effort than all of that.
I think you have good argument for that because
Yeah,
I like a part of it as well is it's got to be inside you
yeah,
like in a really big way. I'm trying to imagine. So is this like in like the 60s? Like you're going to
yeah.
Italy as a band. So how old are the other three brothers?
Well, but the only way that my parents would let me go if I took my 5 year older brother, the one who didn't want to play accordion,
Right.
with me. So
He
he
became
was
your agent.
17, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the two older guys of the three brothers, one was also 17, and the other one was like 15 or 16, something like that.
So
And
you're
then there,
playing with at that time you're playing with older kids too, right?
yeah, yeah, the Vic, the guy who helped me off the fence, who
Yeah.
got my bass career started. He and I were the same age, so
Oh, real. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
kind of had a buddy that was your kind of vintage or age.
yeah, exactly. His real
That
name
is.
was Vito. He changed it to Vic to be cool.
Oh, wow. So, how long did that go on for?
Well, it went on for about 3 years while we practiced and, became bass players and guitar players and drummers and all that kind of stuff. And then at 12, that's when we went to Italy.
So you were mastering your instrument a lot at a very young age.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It
Did you
was,
did you take any like guitar lessons, or did you kind of teach yourself mostly on like especially playing with the band a lot?
yeah, that's the key sentence because, I, it's a little bit different now. I'm thinking a little bit, I've never practiced a day in my life. I
Interesting.
just, yeah, I just played a lot, so
Okay.
when I did play, it was full on, and then when I was actually making money, which was early teens, um, I was playing all the time, playing gigs, so I never had time to practice. That was my practice, playing live.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Well, you
yeah,
learn a ton that way. So you probably never had like a stage fright kind of that goes because it's just where you play.
yeah. That's my home. Yeah,
Wow. That's cool. So you picked it up by ear. I mean, with being a producer and arranger, you have a great ear probably too.
yeah, I do.
What a gift that is.
What's that?
What a gift that is to have an ear for music like that.
It is. It really is. I could always tell what everybody was playing and all that kind of stuff. But you mentioned lessons. Uh, I really got it when I got back from Europe. And by the way, that's when I bought the bass that I've used my whole life for $45.
You still have your original bass?
My original bass. Oh, geez, I'd show it to you here.
How
It's in,
crazy.
it's in the case. But uh, yeah, and the kicker is for $45. That bass is, I don't know. I mean, somebody cut the horns off of it. So, the real sticklers and the collectors, the music collectors thing, like if it's got a scratch or if
Yeah.
it's not the original pick guard or whatever, they go, they devalue it. So I don't know. I guess mine's worth about 20 or 30,000 now, I guess. It should be worth about 200,000 because it's a 58 Fender Precision.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
I got it when I got home because you said, I hope you don't mind all these stories here, but
this is cool.
yeah. So we're in Italy. This is our first stop. I make it sound like we toured Europe for, blah, blah, blah. We got stopped right away. Like I said, we had white hair, totally against both parents'
Oh,
wishes. We went to some hairdresser on the Danforth to do it. After my parents said, "No way, you're not, no way," I came home with white hair, peroxide. And so we land in Rome. We drive down to Calabria, which was our
yep.
first gig, and the food. Oh man, it's really it's hard to find a bad meal in Italy. Like
Oh,
you
I'll
really
bet.
have to look hard.
Oh yeah.
But Calabria's got just a natural taste. It's all simple food. And so anyway, we drive down there. We did our first gig. Okay, now we had a manager and a guy who traveled with us and blah blah blah, but they're limited in what they could do. One of them is the editor of a national paper, but
Wow.
you know.
That is something
So
else.
we get to Nicastro, the town was called in Calabria, and they're advertising it. Nobody knows us. They're advertising a gig, and we're driving. We're in our Volkswagen van. We're driving by cars, and they're doing like double and triple takes because there's four guys in there with white hair.
Oh,
So we do a first gig, and we end. There's an artist. His name was Domenico Modugno. It's a very very famous Italian artist. He was like the Elvis of,
oh,
of Italy.
okay.
And they've got monuments of his all over still to this day. Every time we go back, I see them. he was supposed to headline. We ended up headlining because of the freaky nature of the group, with the, like I said, the pinstripes. We had strobe lights and everything, and we
Oh,
made $5,000 American that night.
oh boy,
And that was like, yeah,
unbelievable.
I don't know, like maybe 100 grand nowadays, but so I'm skipping around the apartment we had, after the gig, and the next morning, the way they advertised gigs there and in Europe at the time, you got to remember Europe at that time wasn't as instant, it wasn't as global as it
It's
is now. I mean, for
right.
music to get overseas, it used to take like 6, 8
Yep.
months and still arrive the little tour,
Yep.
distorted.
That's right.
Now it's like comes out
Instant.
today. What do
Yep.
what do you new? So yeah, so get a knock on the door. Yeah, okay, the way they advertise in Europe is they have a bullhorn on top of the car, and they drive around the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, blah 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 blah, in Italian, of course. Uh, and we're going, wow, look at that, because we immediately got, I don't know, like 20, 30 gigs, like just from that night. We
Oh,
went there with that one. And we're deliriously, we're going to be rich and famous. I
yep.
mean, we did make a lot of money. Well, knock on the door, and it's the cops. And I answer, and they said, "We see your work permit." And I go,
Work
"What's
permit.
that?" I'm 12. What do I know about work permits? So I said, "Hold on." So I called our manager, Johnny Gagliardi. He's listening. He was 17. He was an old guy. He's listening to this, and I could see his jaw drop, and I went, "Ooh, that's not good." We ended up. The guy said, "Okay, you got to drive to Rome, and that's where you got to get your work permit because that's where you landed."
Okay.
In those days, it wasn't highway. The highway only started in Naples, but to get from the south up to Naples, it's like up the mountain,
Oh
down
my.
the mountain, up another mountain. But I tell you what, it's the time of my life. When I think about, I still, I mean, like the best food. We
Oh
stop at
yeah.
a, you know, because we ended up having to do that about 10 times. We
Oh,
get
for
to
work
Rome.
permits.
Yeah, we get to Rome and they go, no, 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 no. You got to go back down there to get your work permit. So back in the car, up the mountain, down the mountain, all that stuff.
Oh my
We did that
goodness.
about 10 times. So along the way, I mean, so many stories. We had a riot and the food was always fantastic and all that. Anyway, it ended up we couldn't get a work permit until uh, Mario, the editor, flew to Italy, not before he asked each parent for $2,500 to
Oh
do it,
man.
to go fix this thing up with the permit. He got there and he brought like a bottle of whiskey or something, and he got the permit. But by then, like school year was starting. It was like 6 months later. It took that long. We did a movie that while we were there. We did all these underground gigs. We couldn't really advertise anything because we didn't have a work permit.
Right.
Yeah. So
So
when I go
so
back
you
to
were
Rome,
there for like 6 months?
yeah, 6 months.
So
Yeah.
did you miss home? Like you're introduced to road life really early.
Yeah. No, not that I missed my parents and my friends and all that, but not as much as the fun I was having while I was there.
Okay. So you
I
were
mean,
hooked.
oh, totally. It was just fabulous.
So you
And
you were you were learning like your craft like literally on the road. No basement practice for you, man.
no,
In
that was
front of people.
it for people. Yeah, it's just a fabulous experience. And then
So that's before you bought your Fender you said precision bass?
yeah,
That's
Fender Precision.
before because you bought that when you got home.
Yeah, because to get home, Mario came over and we got to work. We didn't do any gigs after that because it was like
Of
way
course.
too far gone.
Yep.
And he hung out with us a bit too. But in order to get home, we had to sell all our instruments there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have
Okay.
anything when I got home, and I think I did get home before they did because they stayed behind to sell the instruments. I had this Magnetone amp, which was the size of oh man, size of a truck. It was huge. I had to kind of reach up to hit the knobs. With it's all the knobs. It's all about that. But it sounded horrible. It was just horrible. There's just like nothing in it. So we sold that. Some poor guy ended up buying it. And when I got home, I looked in a paper, and there was two basses for sale from a disgruntled, I find out later, disgruntled employee of Sykes Music.
Oh,
Used to be on the Danforth,
okay.
Sykes Music.
Yes.
He hadn't been paid in a little while, so he took a couple of basses. One was a Black Burns with, I mean, you're 12. Okay, I'm 12 and a half now. Buttons all across the top, like buttons everywhere. There had to be 30 buttons on the bass. I went, oh man, that's pretty cool. And then mine, which was a real simple two knobs on it, and that's it. And I went with that because of my big hands. It didn't have the hook, like the what do you call them? Horns. The horns.
Yes. Okay.
Typical. They come out, and then there's a neck in the middle. And I thought, okay, it'd be easier for me to get up top of the neck. So what a great decision that was.
I'll
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
So this
So
is it. So Peters, is this like in the early 70s now?
not no, not yet. This
Still
is like
60s.
mid sixties, mid
Crazy.
sixties. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So you came home, you go buy this bass that you still have today, which
yeah.
to me is unbelievable. Did you start playing then? Like with like or did you stay together as a band and just play the gigs in the area? Because you're
Uh,
still really young.
I'm still really young. Yeah, I mean, I could have been 13 at that point, but I was going into high school, so it must have been because we couldn't. Me and Vic couldn't get in any high schools because we're the same age and the same grades and all
Right.
that. They wouldn't let us in. We had white hair. Never mind long hair. We had long white hair. So we got we got kicked out of school after not kicked. We were not invited into. I mean, we went to Harvard Collegiate, and they went, "No, we're not letting you in." Went to Central Tech.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
all these schools.
yeah, you know them all.
I when you say those, I know those names.
Yeah. So you know where I ended up? The only one that would take us in is Central Commerce. And that's where I learned to type like 130, you know,
I
a
hear
minute.
you.
Yeah, it was
The only transferable skill we have from school.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, words a minute. I was trying to think of yeah, it's words a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, that's funny that you did because I did a similar thing. Like
Did you?
in high school, I took it kind of just I played piano, so I figured, oh, this will be an easy credit, and it was an easy credit. But it's like use those skills every day.
You think about it now, huh? I mean, you watch the guys who go tick, tick,
Yeah.
still, because they never had any training back then.
It's funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's funny how things work out for the best.
So did
Like
you played all through high school then?
I played all through high school. Yeah. I was in, you know, I have to say, the really early part of my career, I was in two bands like with the strangest names. Like there was the Death, and then there was Tight Ass. Yeah. And that was probably like 14. Yeah,
Wow.
I just got back from Europe, Italy, and uh, this guy came to approach me, um, Joe Marchese. He was in a wedding group
Okay.
called the Valentinos, and
Wow.
look, I'm 12. I got a pretty big head now. I'm a rock star,
Yep.
that just toured Europe and, blah,
I've
blah,
got white
blah.
hair.
Got white hair. I mean, I was never, I can, maybe somebody will say different, but I've never been one for my ego to take over. But, when you come back and a wedding band asks you to play in their band, when you just came back from all this epic stuff, you kind
Yes.
of,
Forget it.
so my mother said, well, why don't you go? I'll save your money. Yeah, I guess I was 14, 13, 14 at that point. And I went, okay. So I did it. I did it for about a year. And then, who's a lifelong friend now, that was a lot of years ago. Enzo Peruzza, he came along. He said, as a matter of fact, he went to Italy with a group shortly after us. Yeah,
Oh,
and they did really well. It was like kind of a BS&T group. They had horns and that sort of thing.
oh,
Way
wow.
before BS&T was around. Yeah, way back then. A soul band again, and he went to form a band. I thought, okay, we're on the same wavelength here. We've
Yeah.
done the same things. Great. So I left the Valentinos and I started with Tight Ass, and those were really great years because I became really interested in arranging. Okay,
Okay.
like
Okay.
that's where I really got my interest, which later developed to production. But it's a natural progression
So
from
were
from
you doing originals back then, or was it primarily cover tunes that you would do?
cover.
Yeah.
We maybe had two originals the whole time we had the Tight
Oh,
Ass, which was about
okay.
4 years. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
So you've like played like every club in Toronto.
yeah, sure. At the time, I mean, the Gasworks.
Yes.
There was the place out in Sheridan Hotel in Etobicoke. Oh, what was that called? Uh, that was, and there's a place right at Front Street in York, front in York on the southwest side. Right now, it's all buildings, but
Right.
there's a pretty. Was it Grandma something or other? I forget. Geez, I don't know why I'm forgetting the names of all those. They usually come to me like this. There's a place on Wellington. We
Okay.
had to change our name from Tight Ass to Shazam. That's what it was. They wouldn't put Tight Ass up on the
Oh, on
billboard.
the marquee. Yes.
Yeah, in the marquee. Oh yeah, all the clubs. We did all Hawks Nest, all that stuff.
Well, I was when you mentioned something like the Gasworks is a pretty famous um landmark. The Alma Combo, that one I can remember. And I
Yeah.
remember seeing Larry Gowan
Hmm.
in as Rheingold, and it was in Scarborough. And I want to call it like the Hornet's Nest or
Oh,
something like that.
I know where you mean. It's like Midland and Danforth,
Yeah, yeah,
way up
it's
there,
it's
right?
yep.
Yeah. What was it called? That was like a whole other world that far away.
I
Being
was
from
going to
the
say that's another planet because
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's a long way away when you think of it. Because I can remember going to see him. I think I was with Craig actually, and I was blown away by how he could play.
Yeah. Greg.
No, how
Oh,
Larry Gowan
oh,
could play.
Gowan. Yeah. Larry. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Larry's great. Yeah. Really great. Um, I'm trying to think of that now. No, it'll come to me before we
So
start
you
playing.
mentioned that you started arranging. You got interested in arranging. So
Yeah.
the tunes that you're picking, are you putting together kind of with Tight Ass, they're your own arrangements of these tunes too?
That came
Okay.
later. Like first, it was like getting the record arrangement down, and playing the right stuff and all that. Yeah, we put our little spin on it. I'd put a spin on it, but never as much as how I got to later on.
Right, right.
Yeah. But we had three horns in the band,
Oh wow.
right? So perfect. They were the guinea pigs, and I I didn't finish 11, grade 11. I almost did,
Okay.
but I got into the university as an adult student because of my music background, right?
Of
So
course.
I
Of
went and
course.
studied there. I didn't get any academic grades, so couldn't become a doctor. But but um, and I studied there, but I really wanted to go to New York to study with Gordon Delamont
Okay.
in
Okay.
particular. He was like, so many great schools used his books in the States.
Okay.
He was like the arranger. I mean, he, worked with all the great, big bands, Count Basie and Duke Ellington and all those, we're going back now.
Wow.
So I'm going, okay, I'm here with the guy that I was studying with at the university, and great. But he was very, well, you can play Mozart, you can play Beethoven, or you can, it's like you can write like them or them or them. It's like, well, I want to kind of write a little different.
That's not what I want.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are great roots. You really got to learn that stuff. But that's just to know where it came from.
Right. Right.
Where you're going to is up to you. So, and then I find out that Gord lived in Don Mills. I thought he was in New York
No
because,
way.
yeah, because the book said Kendor Publishing, New York. I figured, okay, he's from New York. What do I know? I'm like 14 or something. Yeah, so, but I had those years. So when I found out, I called Gord and I got him on the phone. I said, Gord, I can't tell you, like,
Wow.
so happy to talk to you. I told him the story about I've been saving up for a year or whatever to go study with him. And he's like, he thought that was cute.
Yeah,
He
like
could,
I was gonna say, like your story already would sound unbelievable to me.
yeah. Yeah.
Like he'd be looking at like men that didn't have the experience you'd already got.
Well, you know what? Looking back, yeah, I know it was. That's part of my blessing. I really was blessed, and
So so Peter, how like you're very young at this point. How are your parents dealing with this? Or like was it like did you have older brothers and you were like the last one? Like how did they like this is a lot for a parent too.
it's a lot. That's why she kind of wells up when anybody ever asks about, going
Oh
away.
really?
I
Oh,
don't want
okay.
to talk about it. Uh, they handled it great. They always supported me.
They
You
did.
know, yeah. I did have to make a decision when I was maybe 10 or 11, either hockey or music, because I played both, right?
I
And I
hear
went,
you, man. I hear
yeah,
you. Because I
yeah,
can remember making a similar decision a little bit older.
yeah,
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
Craig was in that part. That part. It was like, do I play hockey or do I play in a band?
Oh, really?
Nothing like what you're doing. But I was
Mm,
just, it was still a decision. So it's neat that you brought up the hockey one. Because
yeah,
so what did you play in hockey?
center.
Okay.
And I feel like I have a story for everything, but when the long hair thing started, by the way, I choose to shave my head. I'm not bald. I do
Isn't
have,
it? It's so much easier, I hear.
yeah. Oh man, it's like out of the shower, done. It's great. Yeah, I've
I
been.
haven't got that brave yet, Peter.
No, I did it once when I was at the Orbit Room.
Oh,
We
okay.
were playing at the Orbit Room. A friend of mine came by and went, "Oh, that looks great." Like, looks like, as far as maintenance goes, especially,
Oh, yeah.
that's great. And he went, "Oh yeah, you got to try it." I did, and that was like 1993 or four.
Yep.
No, maybe six or seven, something like that. Never changed back.
Oh,
I
no. Like,
started with like, that long, and that was really short, and then this long, and then I use the lawnmower hair clipper. So now I got it set to nothing.
No, I was
It'll
going
be
to say because I did it once. It was for a cancer fundraiser.
uh,
And what I was blown away with was how could feel the cold, like even a slight breeze. You probably don't
yeah,
do that anymore, but I was kind of blown away by how
yeah.
sensitive the head was to that.
Well, they say all the warmth is up there. You keep your head warm, you keep your body warm.
So
I don't know who said that.
so you said you're playing the orbit room. So somebody owns the orbit room, right?
Yeah, Tim Noter.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, COVID managed to.
Oh, is it shut down?
Yeah, it shut down. It
Oh,
was
wow.
the happening club. We started it with. Yeah, well, I'll finish telling you the Gordon Delma story. I thought
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mentioned it, but we started it in 90. I'm terrible with years. I want to say 91, something like that. And Tim Noter, Alex Lifeson from Rush
Yes.
was part of that.
That's the
And
name I'm recognizing with it.
yeah, and he used to come and play all the time, sit in with us. Scared to death. He was scared to death because he's used to playing for 80,000 people, right? And now he's in a club with 90 people up close.
It's a
You
different
know?
experience.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Oh, he'd call and say, what are we going to play? I said, don't worry, just come down, sit in. It's easy. It's all easy stuff. So yeah, that was a whole other. I mean,
So you're I'm not trying to interrupt you, Peter, but you said about Gordon that you got a relationship, and I'm kind of picturing this. I'm kind of going, here's this young guy calling this experienced, worked with all the greats,
yeah,
and you're saying, like you're in your teens, right? You've been to Italy,
yeah.
you kind of toured the world. Like, what was his reaction? Like, either I don't believe you, or get over here, I want to work with you.
Well, I didn't even get to that part until I started studying with him.
Oh, wow.
That's the best thing about he. I was his last class on Fridays, and I could say it now. I guess he'd bring down a beer every now and again, and go,
Yeah.
go ahead, big kid, have a beer, and we'd have the greatest conversations. But when I talked to him, when I finally got through, I told him the story. I didn't tell him anything about me. I just told him the story of me getting to talk to him,
Oh,
and how I was saving up and all that. And he said, well, I got a 7-year waiting list. I went, Gord, I cannot wait 7 years. I got to get in right away. Right?
you'd be so earnest too.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the way he took it. Well, I got a call the next day, and he said, okay, you can start in 2 weeks. And I went, yay! And I get off the phone. I went, we got a gig in North Bay
Ah,
with Tight Ass.
ah, ah.
I had to actually cancel the first before I even started with him. And when I phoned him, he kind of went, oh, this is interesting.
But like, to me, that's like you're a working musician. Like,
Yeah,
it's like most are like have never even been in a band, let alone on stage that are he's working with, and now
yeah,
he's working with a guy that's got all this experience and's working.
yeah, yeah. It was great. I mean, he understood. He just said,
Oh yeah,
he just said, the way it sounded to me when he was talking, well, isn't that something? I get you in, ahead of everybody. But we ended up becoming really great friends.
oh
We were
wow,
years apart, like
yeah.
age-wise. But the first thing he said to me is, "So, what are you doing here?" First lesson. I said, "Well, I want to learn how to write." He said, "Well, here's a pad of paper and there's a pencil. Go write." And kind of. It was all in fun. It wasn't, serious like get
Right.
out of here or anything like that. But he said, you know what? I can teach you anything about music, but I can't teach you good taste.
Oh,
So
right on.
yeah, he dropped a few bombs that stuck with me for my whole life. Another one was never fall in love with your own notes. That's a good one.
Oh,
Like,
oh, I like that one.
yeah,
Oh man.
exactly. So you write something, the natural thing is for part of your ego to, get attached to it, and that's mine. No, no, that's the way it is. No, no, don't play it. Don't play it any way else. This is it. I said, no, be ready to change anything,
Oh,
which,
that's very cool. I like
yeah,
that.
very cool. So, the part of him saying, yeah, well, just go right, and it was great, which was polar opposite to where I was at the university.
I'll bet it was.
Yeah, this guy was like so strict. John Dudney was his name. And anytime, I bring in something I wrote, and he'd look at it and he'd start with like cleaning the paper with his hand and going, "What's this?" His theory was, and he was a good musician, classical musician though only. His theory was, if I have to tell you what's wrong, you're not going to learn. So you got to figure out what's wrong with it, which goes to a certain point.
Sure. Sure.
I'm starting to make up stuff. What's wrong? And he started getting real pissed off, and he's foaming at the side of his, side of his, yeah, he would get real pissed. No, what's wrong with this? I'm going, I don't know. Tell me, and I'll remember. I promise you, I'll remember. Anyway, when I told him I'm going to study with Gordon Delamont, as I was walking out the door, I heard "Gone to the Dogs."
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, as he's sitting at his desk, foaming at his mouth. But
man.
yeah, it was great, my life opened up after that.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah, so
I love the don't get in love with your own notes. Oh
yeah,
my goodness, man.
yeah,
That's it's kind of like when I've heard artists talk about saying like once you're finished, it's not yours anymore. It's the world's. Like
yeah,
and it's like because we have our humanness, right? Like we
yeah,
do get connected and prideful with the stuff that we do.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
such a cool. I'll remember that one. That's a good one.
yeah. Never
So
fall
how
in love.
long did you study with Gordon?
About 3 to 4 years. I went through everything.
Oh
I was
wow.
his youngest student ever.
Oh, I have no doubt of that.
Yeah. And, that's something I really regret in my life. He was real, excuse me, he was real sick. And I didn't know how sick he was. Again, I was still relatively young,
Right.
not attuned to, in between the lines. He called me and he said, I want to see you, but it was kind of like, I want to see, I knew he was in the hospital, but I didn't know,
I'm sick.
well, he had some kind of terminal disease,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
I didn't make it to see him
Oh,
before he died, so that's one thing in my life that I'll always regret, but, so that's changed me too,
I'll
when I
bet.
see that people, I drop what I'm doing and I,
Go see him.
yeah, 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 but, hey, everybody, does things in their life that they beat themselves up for at
You.
some point,
Oh, I
right?
mean, that's part of being human, I think.
Yeah, yeah, mm,
So when did you while you're going through school with him kind of I'll call it teaching or mentoring you, are
yeah.
you're playing all this time too, right?
I'm playing. I'm playing. Yeah, That's why I didn't finish grade 11
Wow.
because I was playing. I was playing every night, and I was playing in clubs I wasn't supposed to be in, and all
I'll
that kind of.
bet.
Yeah, and I went to school one day, and I guess I was tired or something. Teacher said instead of staying up watching TV all night, you should be doing it. And I went, I'm done. But
Judgments, man.
yeah, bye. Uh, yeah, I was working, and really working on my craft, on writing. I was like really confidently writing now, you know.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, it's another thing Gord said. You want to hear the bad notes coming back at you, not the good ones.
they that's
That's what you're going to learn from, your bad notes. Yeah.
you know,
So
it's funny when you say that because I just remember hearing this, and it was a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Whether it's real or not, Peter, I don't know, but it was kind of a neat thing. And Affleck said when they were writing the script to Good Will Hunting, and he said, when you look at my ideas, don't look at how bad my bad ideas are. Look at how good my good ideas are.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
So whether he really said that or not, I don't know, but it's really it's a good one to me.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. That's right up there. That's
It's
a good
kind of
one.
exactly what you just said, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good notes and
Yeah.
bad notes.
Yeah. That's that's yeah. That period was really fabulous. There's so many great periods I've had,
Well, I
and
mean, you start at 12 and you tour in Italy, man, and you're still in you're still in that part of the world. So you're when you I'll call it graduated from Gordon. Did you start another band, or were you working with other bands at that time?
we went through a few iterations of Tight S.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, always maintained the name.
Did you
Um,
record?
no, we never put out a record. No, we never did. We did some demos, and at that time it was reel to reel.
Okay.
Here, listen to this, and you give them a reel to reel, right?
Yep.
And I loaned one to Frank DeFelice. I said, check this out. He's a drummer. And he wanted to practice, so he put this machine in record so he can hear himself and record it over the master. I was
Oh,
stupid for giving him that, but yeah. So the front of one of the songs starts with him going, and then you know clicks back in the song. But yeah, we only did about 3 recordings, and they're really really good.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when did that part of your world start to shift? Like today, you're the president of Alma Records. You're a producer, arranger. I'm hearing arranging coming through working with Gordon.
Yeah.
When did the recording world start in your adding that into your kind of atmosphere of creativeness?
You ask very good questions.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks.
uh, well, I'll tell you what. I made, again, there's some defining moments in my life that I look back and I go, well, did I get lucky? Did I see something in the future? Like, I can't answer those, but I do have like, no, maybe 6 or 7 real defining moments. I'll tell you one about Berry Gordy and Motown in a second. Well, more than a second, I think. Yeah, a little ways to go.
That sounds
Um,
like a great story.
yeah, recording. So I made a decision um, after the Valentinos was tight ass. We started when I was done with tight ass. I said I started doing some casual dates. I'm famous in the music circle of guys of that age. I'm famous for driving my car into the Royal York elevator and getting him to take me up to the second floor where that ballroom is. I don't ask me why I did that or what the circumstances were, but he actually I drove my car in and I went second floor on my window, took me up there. I drove it out into the ballroom and it stayed there while I did my gig. Then I got in the car, backed it into the elevator, and it took me back downstairs. I don't know why I did it or what the circumstances were, but so many people remember that.
Well, that's one, Peter, that's hard to forget.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, really weird. But after doing some casuals, I said, I made the decision, very defining moment. I think maybe I was 16.
Oh my goodness, man.
I said, I'm not doing any more live dates. I just recorded. I only want to record. And I didn't really, didn't do many sessions at that point, you
I
know.
was going to say you hadn't been doing a lot of recording from what you said
No,
already.
no, not at all. Not at all. Uh, and I stopped it. So that could have been death. Like I could have gotten no more calls for anything.
Oh yeah.
You know. One guy called and says, "I want you for a live date." I said, "I don't do no." I said, "I don't, wedding." I said, "I don't do live dates anymore." He says, "What do you do? Dead dates?" You know. So, okay, whatever. So
Well, decisions
anyway,
like that can happen, right?
yeah. So Sam Berry was a guy from Hawaii who moved to town. He was like one of the jingle kings at the time. You know.
Okay.
So I didn't discern what type of recording I wanted to. I just wanted to go be a session musician, right?
Oh, you just wanted to play in sessions.
Yeah, I wanted to do studio work only.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was thinking when you said recording that you wanted to become like a recording engineer, like that you were going to be the one recording the players.
No,
You're actually just want to do session work.
as a bass player, session,
Okay,
session player,
okay.
right? So
So your licks are pretty good by now, I'm going to guess.
pretty good. Yeah,
You
yeah,
can play
and
anything you want, probably then even.
yes, and
Yeah.
I was a wicked reader and everything. So
Wow.
this guy Sam, and what started that I'm not doing any more live dates. I'm just going to record. Uh, is Sam Berry called me. We had met somewhere,
Okay.
and he called me and said, "Hey, Peter, you know, I've got this. I do this rehearsal for like a ballet studio, more modern dance, you know, ballet. And I go down and help them out, and I, you know, put together a band, so they got a live band. It's fun and all that. You know, there's no money, but would you like to come do it?" And I went, "This is Jingle King. Yes, I want to do it." I canceled the gig that paid me a lot of money to do it.
Oh, wow.
So it's not only making the decision not to play, I'm actually following through with it. Like
Yes.
I will take a big cut to zero.
Oh, wow.
But I feel that working with you and you getting to know me and likewise is a much better long term thing. We played one night, next thing you know, he's hiring me for commercials. It started that easy. And I'm doing commercial. Word got out, hey, there's this new hotshot out there, you know. Uh, Eric Robertson, Doug Riley, they all started, Paul Zaza, they all started to hire me. And all of a sudden, I'm doing 7, 8 sessions a day. Like,
Oh, wow.
like it's that way when a new guy comes along and he's good,
Yeah.
it gets around. It really gets around and everybody wants to use you, you know.
Oh, yeah. Because it's,
Yeah,
it's it's
so
so much less work for them too.
yeah.
Because you can just come in and play, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, I was a really good reader. I'm not as good a reader as I was. I'm still good, but I could read anything then, you know,
Wow.
and without making any mistakes. That is, you know. So yeah, so word got around, and I instantly became a busy session musician just from that one little move of you know, turning down money. I turned down money for future. That I know. I designed. I thought of it. You know, I thought I know once he hears me play, you know, we'll get to know each other.
Wow.
And then I started writing for him too, you know, and I just got to know everybody. And
This is Sam Barry still, right?
yeah, this is Sam
Yeah.
Berry, but then it moved on to other guys, you know, like
Oh,
Doug
wow.
Riley and all that, you know, I worked with Doug. We did, before the Orbit Room, we did, the Muddy York on Church Street. I don't know if you know that club.
It's ringing a bell, but I'm not sure whether I'm getting it mixed up with another club that's way north up in Beaton. So
Oh
but it's
yeah,
on Church Street, you said.
yeah, between the Esplanade and Front, almost halfway, closer to the
Okay.
Esplanade.
Okay.
Yeah, the biggest rats. Every time I drove down there, would come from the keg was across the street, and I saw so many of them coming out of the garbage and all that. It's like it was Ratville.
Oh man.
None in the club, none in the club, but it always freaked me out. Yeah, Doug Riley. We maybe I don't know, venture to say 8 years, maybe 10 years at the Muddy Ark every Wednesday night. And it
Oh
was
wow.
great. Steve Kennedy and Whitey Glenn and Bernie LaBarge, just all great, great man. Doug Riley's
Oh,
is the man.
well known. I
Yeah.
was going to
Well,
say, and you're getting to play with these guys.
yeah. More than that, I became really good friends with him. We used to, I used to be there, and he used to be here all the time. It was great. Doug was just, you know, we lost one really way too soon. But that was his life. He always said, "I'm going to live my life the way I want to live, whatever happens."
Interesting, eh? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
So,
got to be part of that.
oh yeah, we got to be a very, very close family, and just getting to work with him all the time from the beginning. It was like I was, yeah, yeah, it was totally great. And went right from there. Started my years at the Orbit Room.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now wait a minute, I'm trying to think. No, 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 no. Stuff before then. I'm editing my life here.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff here, man.
yeah. It was. I'm just having trouble placing the time frame right. Yeah. After Muddy York or during, I don't know, somewhere around there. I know when we were at the Orbit, I went on the road with Anne Murray.
Okay. As her
So
bass player.
as her bass player, and then eventually became her arranger as well. I did all her records. I did,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I did all of her records, and yeah, I went on the road. Fantastic years
So
those were.
you were with Anne Murray before she became like kind of the Canadian icon that she did?
I started, yeah, no, she was already an icon. She already had Snowbird. That was her first. Snowbird
Okay.
was her first
Yeah.
hit and the first record she ever made.
Amazing, eh? Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah, her first single was a hit. That's very rare.
Oh my goodness, man. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So you worked with her after that.
No, right at the beginning of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Like she had already had Snowbird. She didn't have You Needed Me yet. I was through
Okay.
that whole
Okay.
period. Yeah, and then that was part of the Vegas years. Right at You Needed Me. She started doing 2 weeks every 3 months or something like that.
Like a residency in Las Vegas?
Not necessarily residency. We started at the Aladdin
Oh, okay. Okay.
with Al Gambino, the musical director, and then they tore that down. We moved to the Riviera, and it was fantastic. I mean, I became good friends with Jerry Seinfeld. He opened for us for about 2 years. Rodney
So
Dangerfield.
so I
Uh,
got to tell you, Peter here. So we just went to see Seinfeld here in
oh
Abbotsford.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, that guy has a gift.
Oh, big time.
I think he's 70 and
Yeah, all right.
he just killed. He
Yeah,
he he has not missed anything. He talked about everything from couples counseling to artificial intelligence.
yeah.
And he had the place. It's like a special events where the Abbotsford Canucks play,
Uh-huh.
and it's filled. Ryan Hamilton opened for him, and he was quite funny too.
Yeah.
And so I hear you. Getting to know a man like that, that's kind of neat, man. That's another gifted guy, right?
Well, I'm telling you, he was so the first time we had worked with him was actually in Lake Tahoe,
Okay.
because we did Harrah's in Lake Tahoe. And I remember Ann's agent just introducing me to him. This is Jerry Seinfeld. He's an up and coming, and he's going to open for you here. And we stayed behind. We never really just hung out and watched the opener, except for Rodney Dangerfield
Oh,
and
wow.
a few like that.
Yes.
But he was kind of not boring. We didn't think he was boring. We thought that's pretty cool. Not one swear word.
Oh, no, that's the part that's stunning.
And he's funny as hell.
Oh, my goodness.
So, and he was kind of like a geeky guy. So the next day, like
Yes.
in Lake Tahoe, they used to have in all the gambling cities, Vegas and Reno and Lake Tahoe, they would have what they refer to as the Star House.
Okay.
So like Bill Hara, he's he's got the biggest car collection in the world, right? I don't think he's no longer with us, but like the garage was like 10-car garage. You can eat off the floor, right on the
Amazing.
lake, right on the lake, next
Amazing.
door to the Godfather house. Now
Oh,
that house,
wow.
right, with the boats were afraid of. Hey, you want to go for a ride? No, don't go. uh, yeah. Ann said it used to take her about 15 minutes to shut all the lights off, right? So they always have the Star House, in the States. That's, they're
That,
really
that's
big
cool.
on making the Star the Star. So we had the privilege of if we ever they had the biggest boat on the lake too. If we ever want to go out, they just need 24 hours notice. We'd get the boat with a full crew, with lunch, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, so Jerry came out with us after his opening night with us,
Oh, wow.
and he was just really, like really geeky, and like just not. I'm not in a bad sense. I'm not negative at all. He's just really quiet, humble, no. Hey, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. He wasn't Jerry Seinfeld at the time, but then he just stuck with us. He opened for us in always for about 2 years at the
Really?
Riviera. Yeah, at the Riviera. We had a
This is
routine.
opening for Anne Murray
Yeah,
Band. Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's
oh, yeah,
cool.
yeah. And he taught me to eat matzah and eggs the
I'll
way
bet.
he eats them: scrambled eggs with peanut butter and jam on them. I'll never forget that. And then we play tennis all day,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
So you're a
So
tennis player.
yeah, I was right now. I wouldn't make it to many balls,
No,
but
that's a very cool story because that would have been you said before the Seinfeld show.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember him telling me about the show. I said, "Well, what's it about?" He says, "Nothing." That line that they even used in the show.
Absolutely. No, it's because I can remember hearing. See, I reason why we wanted to see Seinfeld is to me some of these I'll say personalities have been icons. You sometimes miss. Do you know what I mean? Seeing them live.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, I couldn't believe he was coming to Abbotsford.
yeah,
And I said, we've liked him forever. And I
yeah.
said, we should go at least to see him once live. I think he'd be such an interesting guy to talk to, actually.
Oh, he'd be great. He's a smart guy, man. He he used to get in my head when we played tennis. Yeah, he would.
Oh, Betty.
I'd be killing him. He'd go, yeah, yeah, I'll catch you. Don't worry. He'd come from behind and beat me, and then he bought me this book called The Inner Game of Tennis. I think they've
Ah,
got the inner game of music and everything like that, but it was real new at the time. He says, "Here, why don't you study up on this? Read up
oh,
a little."
interesting.
Yeah. No, we
So
he came.
you learned a ton over those couple of years
Oh yeah,
outside of like the music part, just like understanding the entertainment world.
totally. And Vegas is Ooh, I mean, at the same time, we would count down when we hit the middle of our stay there. We're over the hump. We start counting down. 2 shows left. But it was a really, really a great learning experience. I met some fantastic people.
Oh, I'll
And
bet. I bet. Because you early on, you were talking about how we hear about athletes and how tough that life is and various. And like, here's another part of your musician life. Like, we're over the hump. Like, you see, many see kind of the glamour and all that part, but you don't realize like there's a whole nother part to the thing that doesn't exist for the 2 hours you're playing at night, right?
yeah, yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, a lot of people don't get to see that, but there is that exists for sure, so
And all that group that is in that performing world, like you mentioned with Seinfeld comedians that are in that entertainment kind of 2 hours at night,
mhm.
have to live that life, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the difference between the ones that fade away and don't, you know.
Yeah,
Staying grounded. I mean, like I'll tell you, working with Anne was probably one of the best things in my life because
really.
I really learned, it's not like she plays hit music or anything like that, but she's one of the best singers in the world,
It's
you know.
amazing, right?
Yeah, I did, I worked with her. I did her duets record, and yeah, with Celine and with what's her
You
name?
produced that?
I didn't produce it. I played on it.
Oh, you
No,
played on it.
no,
Oh my
what's his
goodness.
name from New York produced that. He did Billy Joel. What's his name? He's not with us anymore either. Uh, Very famous producer. When you looked at his bio,
Yeah.
it was um, it was sorted by decades.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? I almost had it. Uh, he did the original um, Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday" to John F. Kennedy.
Oh wow.
That thing, he
Yeah.
produced that. He
Oh
produced a lot
wow.
of White House stuff. Yeah,
There's a
and
few names coming to mind, but they can't be connected with that who are no longer with us. So because I always think of Quincy Jones in that sense, but
yeah, no kidding. Well, you know what? I have to look it up. I because this is silly that it's like me not remembering Billy Joel producer. Come on. Oh, there he is. What's his name though? No, don't tell me. Why can't you just answer the question? Anyway,
it's
yeah,
always like that when you're looking for the answer.
isn't it? I know. Here, I will let that go. Okay, there's a picture of the two of them. I
That's
still,
funny.
I can't believe I still don't. Oh, Phil Ramone. Thank you.
Oh wow. Now
Yeah,
I wouldn't have got that one. Like I,
yeah.
I didn't even
Phil
I
Ramone.
didn't know Phil Ramone did a Billy Joel album.
Oh yeah, he did the bigger ones. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
produced a duets record, Ann's duets record, and I did some arranging on that as well. And I started. I was a musical director for a while too, uh, and yeah, for about a year.
For
So
Anne
yeah,
Murray.
but I was starting to say that seeing her around all the real big stars, nobody handles life like she does. I mean, she's so grounded.
Interesting.
You wouldn't know any like. I mean, with Anne, the people that used to come to see her and say hello backstage are like Frank Sinatra,
Unbelievable.
um, um,
Oh cool.
what was his name? Bogart. Not Humphrey.
Humphrey Bogart?
Not Humphrey Bogart. The other one with the big McHale's Navy, the big jowls. I forget. Anyway, there's tons of them. There's tons of
Yes,
them. And
yes,
those are
yeah.
the smaller names. They used to come and see her, and she was like, the only time she stayed after a show until the wee hours was when Wayne Gretzky came to see us because she's a huge hockey fan. She
That's
would usually
cool.
just go back to the Star House, and go to
Yeah,
sleep. But
that's a very again, like, saw Seinfeld on the Gretzky tour in '99. We never saw him play, so we ended up going to the New York game in Toronto, still at the Maple Leaf Gardens.
oh,
I had to
really?
see him at least once play. Because I
Oh,
like seeing some of these, like, okay, at least I could say that I saw him, right? Even though
yeah,
he's from Ontario and everything like that. I think he'd be a very interesting person to talk to, too. Like, because what a life.
yeah. Wayne is the most humble person you would ever meet.
I'll
I don't
bet.
know about now. I haven't seen him in years. Well, yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. But he used to come and hang out all the time after that. You know,
That's
the group
cool.
and him, we became good friends. He, yeah, he was telling Anne the story of, and Anne was like, the story of when they did the Canada Russian series,
Oh,
and Lafleur ended up letting a goal in because he Wayne said he did a penguin. So in other words, he had one foot, like one leg straight, and the other one, curled up, and it was great. Yeah, he came with Eddie Mio the first time.
oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, so
It's cool to hear that Anne Marie's a hockey fan.
oh yeah, she's a huge hockey fan. She
That's
almost bought the Leafs actually. They were
interesting.
close to. They were her and Lyman McGinnis, or Lyman McGinnis was trying to broker the deal.
Wow. No,
She
that's
has enough money for sure, and she almost bought them.
so. Is Anne still, like, recording?
No,
No.
no, she hung them up. You know what? I got so much respect for her. I've just known her and worked with her all these years. Okay, I'll tell you. I at the time, well, within that time, I was doing a whole bunch of Motown records. So I was working with uh, Rick James,
Oh, okay.
did some Marvin stuff, did Tina Marie, you know. So
And
going and I would go from Rick James to Anne Murray. It
oh,
was like polar opposite, you know. Yeah,
so at that time you're playing bass with Rick James, or you're recording?
playing bass and arranging.
Oh, you are both, eh? Wow.
Yeah, I was doing
That's
I was doing a lot of both at that time.
not only personality, but that's quite a shift in music style too.
It is, which I love funk music. That's when I started playing bass way back to the beginning of this whole story. I would listen to Motown records,
Oh, really?
but I had no idea who was playing because they never wrote the credits on the albums.
Mm.
So I was highly influenced by James Jamerson, and I didn't know it till I was in my 20s.
Oh, wow. That's kind of a neat thing to find out, actually.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
not knowing who's playing and then find out, wow, this is a pretty good player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So
yeah.
you were talking about Anne, and then you had said that you have a Berry Gordy story too. So,
Oh, you remember that?
because,
Okay.
well, you just mentioned Motown, and so I'm going, "Oh, okay, this is how this is." So was that after the Anne Murray work with her? Because it sounds like you worked with her for a few years.
I did, but I was doing a lot of other work. Like you know, I was on retainer with her,
Oh, okay.
but she didn't work that often. So I didn't have to give up my studio life and my production, my arranging, and all that. And I didn't
Oh,
have to
okay.
give that up. I did once have to ask them to. We had a private plane, and we were going to California. And Jimmy Dale called me. He said, "Hey, kiddo," he used to call me kiddo or Cardster, which is what my publishing company name is.
Cardster. I like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, I do too. His son, Miles Dale, works with Guillermo del Toro. They're partners in a production company which is based out of Toronto. They won the
The actor.
Oscar, yeah, for The Shape of Water. No, not the actor, the producer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, right. No, not that deal. Yeah, so he's a big film producer, Oscar winner, And anyway, how did I go there? Oh yeah, his father Jimmy. I used to do like Jimmy used to do Sonny and Cher show, the Andy Williams show, the Jackson Five, like
Oh
big
man,
shows. Yeah,
you're just taking me down because you watched the Andy Williams show, right? Like that was
yeah,
just a it was a Sonny and Cher. It's like it's like a time out of time, Peter. Like did we really exist at that time?
yeah,
When you see the world today, like
yeah. I know it's wild. Yeah, all those great shows. But Jimmy calls me where he said, "Hey kiddo, need you tomorrow at McClear. It's one of the studios here at noon." And I said, Jimmy, I'm going on the road with Ann tomorrow. He said, see if you can change it. And I said, what do you mean change it? Can you take a later flight? Can you do it? I said, no, man, it's going to LA and the gig's that day. It's the day. There is no later flight. He went, oh, it's really too bad because if you don't do the session tomorrow, I can't use you for the rest of the series. It was the Bizarre series. Remember that's where Super Dave started, the
yeah,
Bizarre series.
isn't that like John Viner? Is that his
John
name?
Biner, exactly who it is.
Oh wow.
So we
Okay.
did that series, and you know, let's put it this way: it was a lot of money. You know, it bought me my house at the time, but yeah, because they were doing themes, and in the TV business, if you don't do the themes, like it's so much contract work, like for
Oh my goodness.
royalties and all of that. They don't want two musicians doing the same role, like
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, so I had to call Ann's manager and say, Leonard, listen, I've never asked you this, and I don't think I'll ever ask you again, but is there any way you can hold the plane?
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of a little trembling here because I thought, it's like a big ask. I said, like, I wouldn't ask you if it was very, very important.
Oh wow.
And he said, okay. So I had a limo waiting outside the studio because I could only do the morning portion, but I got somebody else, a sub, to come in and do the incidental stuff afterwards. That didn't matter. It
Yep.
mattered, but it didn't matter for contract wise. They finished. I hopped in the limo, and because we had our own plane, I drove right up to the plane, got out, and I don't know what came over me. I ran up the stairs. I went, "Okay, let's get out of here."
Wow.
And
That
he
is
took
that
off.
is a cool story.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really fun. It was great. So yeah. Now, what did you ask me about? Oh,
So
very
so you've done a lot of ands. I was gonna say you did duets. So I'll be listening to duets this afternoon, Peter.
all right. Good for you.
And when you're saying that you had the Berry Gordy story
Yeah.
and Motown and like I'm still trying to figure out how you're doing Anne Murray to Rick James. Like I
That was interesting. Many time I would come from, like, I remember doing a session in Florida. I was in Miami doing a session, and then I had to go. No, I was doing something with Ann. Yeah, I was doing something with Ann in the States, and I had to go meet with Rick. And oh, I'm getting my stories mixed up now. Uh, Yeah, Rick would kind of make fun of one of the songs. I cried a tear, he'd do something like that. It's like, Rick.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, as I'm leaving, Ann's going, please say hi to Rick. You know, just like I learned so much from her,
Oh
how
my
to be
goodness.
around all of that, all of those big names and work with them and learn to be myself. I learned a lot of that from Ann. Well,
Really.
and some before I met her, but I pay attention to that stuff, and I see how she would treat everybody and handle everybody, and like even in an interview, um, I used to be terrible at doing interviews. um, they would ask her if they asked her a question that she thought was dumb, she would say that. She'd say,
That's a tough question.
"Then ask me something else," rather than fumble and try to answer it.
I love those moments, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And Ann was the best at it. Just the best interview, just the best in the studio. She'd come in and say, no, no drama, no nothing. She'd come in when time for vocals. She'd do 3 takes and leave.
She'd be
That
so
was her,
prepared.
that was her MO. No,
Yeah,
she just sang brilliantly every time. You could use any
unbelievable.
one of those takes. Yeah, she was just really brilliant.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
But yeah,
So we the Motown little bit, because I'm trying a little bit, because we've got a little farther to go on your, well, you started a record company, which Alma Records,
yeah, in
and
'91.
also, when did you become part of Boomers? So this is kind of like, those are two things in there, because like,
Yeah,
did you start your record company after working with Anne, or had you
after
already kind of formulated
after
that?
Ann, after Ann.
Okay.
The reason I started a record label is because, I don't want to make any cliche statements, but it's always been about music for me. And, I gave you that example of Sam Barry. I
Yeah.
chose the path rather than the money.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I'm doing high profile major label stuff, and I'm producing, and I'm, arranging and playing. And every now and again, an artist will come along, or a singer
Oh,
songwriter or something that didn't have any money, and they meekly approach me, or shyly approach me, and like, can you listen to my stuff? Would
that's
you
so cool.
consider this and that? And every now and again, it was just brilliant. And first thing is, oh yeah, I got to do this. I don't care about the money, I just want to do it. But the problem was, more times than not, is the artist would not know what to do with it once it's done. Like, I can say this because I have license to say it. The easiest part of making a record is writing the songs and recording them.
Mhm.
It's the
Yeah.
most fun part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trying to get traction on it, is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Selling it. So, yeah, so I would do these records and they would just sit in the closet. And when it was done, and I thought, oh, I know enough about the record business. I thought. I
Okay.
thought I knew everything about the record business. No. The other side of the glass, yeah. Performance and, recording it and all that. Yeah. But I call the other side of the glass the business side.
Yeah.
Pretty much had to learn most of that, once I started the label. But I knew I could do it. I knew all of the presidents of the labels and blah 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 blah. Uh, but it was a really tough go. I started in '91. Boomers started in '90.
Oh, wow. It's around
Yeah,
the same time.
around the same time. Yeah, so maybe I started in '92. No, started in '91. And the first thing on the label was a Boomers record and Aiden Mason. Those were the first 2 titles.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the 25,000 Days. And I did a great license deal in Germany, and we became famous in Germany. I have
Interesting.
to tell you a story about that. We were doing our second or third tour of Germany, and Ian and I were always great pals. I did his older records too, played on them, as a studio musician and all that, and so we've always been real tight. So we get to the hotel in Berlin, and they went, "Oh no, no, we are not ready for you. We don't have this room. You have to wait. When tomorrow." So we had to shack up. We had to double up for the first night because they didn't have any room. So Ian looks at me and goes, I said, "Yeah, sure." And this is like, Ian is such a funny guy.
Yeah.
He was hilarious. And so I snored really badly then, like really badly. And I don't now. I don't know, go figure. But I
That's
mean,
funny.
really badly. So he woke up in the morning, he looked at me and said, it was like sleeping in Jurassic Park. And I give him credit for that all the time because that's a brilliant line.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. Oh my goodness. Well, it's funny you mentioned Ian Thomas because when I think of his hit, Painted Ladies,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking kind of like Anne Murray.
Yeah. Actually, Anne recorded a couple of his songs.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking with, I think Snowbird was her first,
Yeah.
and it went big.
Yeah.
And Painted Ladies was, I think, Ian's first, and
Wasn't
it
his
went
first.
big.
He'd already had a group then, like a folk group, uh,
Oh, did he?
Tranquility Base. So
That's right. That's right.
can't- I can't remember Phil Ramone, but I remember Tranquility Base. Um, yeah, he'd already been in it, and producing the CBC and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it was his very first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was his first hit for sure. Yeah, it was a pretty big hit.
Well, when you said that you'd played on his albums too, one of the albums I remember, this is going back to high school for me, was I think it was called Still Here.
Yeah, I don't remember
I think it
where
has
that
Coming
was.
Home on it.
Ah, brilliant song. Yeah,
And
brilliant.
I've always kind of thought it was interesting some of these like Canadian bands, and it's cool you mentioned Anne Murray too,
Yeah.
because like those are like icons that are of our heritage in many ways, right? So when
National
Anne Murray
treasure.
likes hockey, you gotta like that.
You gotta like that. Yeah.
So it's and I always thought Ian Thomas was an extraordinary songwriter.
Oh, he is.
So it must be neat having participated with even what talents you would bring to that picture. Must have been awesome when you connected with him.
Oh, yeah. And like, we'd see each other coming in the studios. Like, he'd do a lot of voiceovers for commercials.
Okay.
So, I'd be coming out and he'd be going in, you know, I'm done. He's starting, right? Uh, but Ian, he's not schooled, but he has such a great ear and such great intuition. And he really knows. I mean, his lyrics are just so profound. They just cut right, right to your heart. Just,
Well, you'll smile at this, Peter, but he wrote a song called I Really Love You, and it's about a Ferris wheel ride.
uh-huh.
And that was one of the songs that brought my wife and I together.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, wow, man. That's fantastic. He would love to hear that. I've heard people say that so many times about different songs touching their lives.
So to play with that band must have been again a special thing for you to do, right? And to record the boomers, man, that'd been fun too.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. And at that point I had my producing chops too. So me and Ian ended up. I didn't produce the first record. Um, Tim Tickner and him did the very
Okay.
first. Yeah, he's very. Um, we call it demoitis because he mocks up all his songs, pretty much produces them. Uh, all with synths, and he plays guitar and he'll play some bass or whatever, but the rest of the machines. But he gets so attached to the parts.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like, oh no, just like that's just a demo. Don't worry, just take it away, take it away. Do your thing, do your thing. Then within 10 minutes, it's like, I was thinking, like, can you play something like, listen to the demo? Can you? I was the only guy, he tells me, that can get away with it. I'd say, no, I'm not playing that. No, not in a, I'm leaving with my bass and that's it, kind of
Well,
like, yeah, what do you think? No. And in interviews, he always said that. He said, Peter would say, no, I'm not playing that. And you know what? He'd end up being totally right.
oh,
But to
that's
get
cool.
him out of the demoitis headspace was really tough when we started the Boomers.
Interesting, because
Yeah.
that's kind of goes back to what you learned from Gordon about the notes, right?
Yes. Never fall in love with your own notes.
Oh, that's a very that just carries right through your story.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah. Oh,
So so now since we've been well, we were trying to get connected to do this chat.
yeah.
You're now full on with Alma Records, right?
Totally. Yeah. We, I can't believe it's like about 30 plus years now. Yeah. It's about 35 plus years.
And you're all over the place
Yeah.
doing these recordings too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to ever give that up. I'll give up the label before I give up that. But I got to say, it's been tough having the dual life.
Mm-mm.
Uh, it is tough. It really tests my, well, I think I've been tested enough through my life, but it doesn't test it anymore. But I guess it displays how much I love this.
Well,
No,
I I don't you probably can't do anything else because this is such a big thing in your world,
I mean,
but it has to be in you, right?
yeah, yeah, it does.
Like when you talk to people that are probably new in the business, that's probably one of the things that like is something that's really kind of tough to see from the outside because what the outside sees is the top of the iceberg.
Yeah,
We see the finished work, right? We don't see not only the work that went into that, but the many, 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 the whole life that went
yeah,
in to allowing you to do that.
yeah, yeah. Multi-layered, multifaceted.
Wow. So do you have like new things that are kind of going on that you'd like to talk about? A lot like at all, like with regards to producing particular acts that look
Yeah.
really interesting or
Well, we had one that came out on Friday, the 5th of June.
oh
Monkey House.
recently.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it releases all the time. Monkey House, Don Brightup's group. It's our fifth record with them,
Oh
and
wow.
it was number one in the U.S., number one in Germany, and through a bad classification of the genre, it only made it to three in Canada. But is doing they Monkey House fans all over the world that
Well, I know that band. I when you say Monkey House,
yeah,
I can't name a song, but
yeah,
that I know that band.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
by the way, great name for a band to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we won a Grammy last year, and a bunch of Junos. We got some other
Wow.
Grammy nominations, and Eladio Duran, the Cuban, is just a fabulous writer and pianist.
That's with you.
Yeah, yeah, he's with us, and Jane Bonnet. We're working on a record right now. Mika
Oh,
Barnes, we're working on a record right now. This is all future stuff.
cool.
Um, and yeah, but, we're talking to Mark Jordan about doing a few things, and so there's
So
a lot on the horizon.
so this is an interesting one for me, Peter. So and you could correct me if I'm wrong because I'm going on my memory a little bit, but they're out with Murray McLaughlin and
They are
Ian, and I think they're on the West Coast right now.
today. They are, yeah.
And there's another person playing with them too. A lady, I think.
Cindy Church,
Cindy Church.
yeah. I did 2 weeks with them a couple of years last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I think I remember Mark Jordan winning the Q107 contest 100 years ago. Is that correct?
Probably, Probably, yeah. He's a marvelous writer and just
Really, eh?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and is a great singer. Just one has one of those voices that you melt. You know.
So Anne Murray's duets, and now I got to go and listen to Mark Jordan too, because I'm not. And you're working with him right now. You said.
Yeah, yeah. We're doing some work
Oh
together.
wow.
Yeah,
So I'm a little envious of what you get to do, Peter, because it sounds like a very cool world, and you can play. That's the part that I think is really neat.
yeah. I I'm really grateful for that. I don't dismiss it as just what happened. You know.
But
Uh,
it all started when you were like 5 years old with the accordion.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? I actually played my grandfather's accordion on one of the Boomers records on the opening of Art of Living. That accordion is moi.
So number three thing that I'm listening to this afternoon.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah,
The Art of Living. That's a great title too. Because the other thing that was kind of noticed when I remember is because I'm also a Rush fan.
oh, great.
So and in particular the bass playing. So I'm fascinated by what you do and what, like when you said Rick James to Anne Murray, like you can play anything, can't you?
Well, yeah, I've had to, you know.
That's really interesting. What I was going to say though is Hugh Syme, who played keyboards for Ian Thomas band, did all the artwork for all the Rush albums.
Hugh Syme. Yeah, you just said Hugh Syme. Yeah. Yeah.
How crazy and connected things are to me.
Hugh did the record that we won a Grammy for.
Oh, he
Like,
did.
yeah.
Just recently?
Eladio Duran last year. Yeah.
Hugh Syme did the artwork for you?
Yeah, he's done a number of titles for us.
Oh
He's
my goodness,
done
man.
a couple for Eladio. Alfie Zappacosta did one for him. We put him out.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
he's still doing a lot of that work.
yeah, he's really great. For him, it's a gift that keeps on giving because they just keep on reissuing, you know, different formats and all that. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
but he's a fabulous artist. He's just
Well,
fabulous. You
I've
know.
always liked his work. I kind of think of Roger Dean for Yes as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he would do all the artwork on the Yes albums.
Yeah.
But I always thought like Hugh Syme's one of our own here in Canada.
Yes. He's
And
in Indiana now, but yeah,
his catalog must be extensive too.
yeah, he's a wonderful artist.
Oh wow, man.
Yeah.
That's great. So I was going to say, I'm trying to be cognizant of your time too, Peter. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's been wonderful chatting and love to do this again because I think we've only got the tip of the iceberg of your background. But in anything that you would like to kind of leave, like as to wrap things up of what, like I loved your saying about the notes, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that Gordon gave you. But is there like anything that comes to mind that like kind of an interesting thing that's like further what you've already talked about?
Oh wow. Um.
You did mention Barry Gordy.
Oh. Should we leave off with that?
Well, it's up to you. I was going to say I find you have an amazing background of interesting stories, and when you brought Anne Murray up, like like that is a Canadian icon to me. What a
Oh yeah.
treasure, right?
Oh yeah. Totally.
And you've worked with Anne, you've worked with Ian Thomas, another treasure to me. So it's kind of neat to hear you've also worked with international artists like Barry
Yeah.
Gordy.
Yeah. Well, I'll make that story short because it's actually a good one. Um, so we're at the Grammys one year, and they used to have parties in the same building, you know, different rooms like the labels. But I had dinner with Jim Ed Norman and oh God, I don't I misplaced his name now. There's two names today. He wrote "You Needed Me." Um,
Oh, Anne
uh,
Murray's.
yeah. Anyway, and won that year for "You Needed Me."
Oh, wow.
And Rick was up for something too. I did both of them,
Oh,
and I worked with both of them. Yeah,
yeah.
and so I get to the Grammys and I meet up with Rick, and he was with Marvin Gaye, and they had their limo. They didn't want to go in for the show, so we sat in the limo for the whole show. And I was seriously high by the time I left because those boys knew how to
Oh, oh,
smoke
man.
weed. I mean, like nobody else could.
Unbelievable. Yes.
And so we get out of the car at the end of the show, and we start walking into and everybody's stopping Rick, congratulations, blah 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 blah. And he goes, "This Peter Cardinali is responsible for half of my career." And everybody, so it's like Lou Rawls, Stevie Wonder, a whole bunch of
Oh,
nobody,
man.
right? And so we go through this whole thing, and Rick would get a little, carried away with it and go, "Yeah, it's responsible for having my career." And he wrote "You Needed Me." It won a Grammy this year, and I'm going, "Oh, I didn't write "You Needed Me," So what am I going to say? No, I didn't. Or, hey, how about them Yankees? Kind of one of those situations. Like you don't want to say no, you don't want to say yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go into the room, the Motown room, and Rick says, "Sit down," after like showing me off for the whole thing. And I sat down next to Barry Gordy, at the head table there. And Barry goes, "Who this? Who's this?" And Rick goes, "Are you kidding? That's Peter Cardinali is responsible for half of my career, blah, 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 blah." He went through that whole routine. And Barry goes, "Oh." And he says, "Can you come to the Motown office tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah, sure I can."
Oh,
And so I show up, and it was like a movie set. The boardroom was like 100 feet long thing, and it was like lit up, and everything. Barry and Lee Young Sr., who Lee Young Sr. was the brains behind Motown from the beginning. He's the guy
oh,
that,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
he did all
Okay.
the deals. And so Barry says to me, "No small talk, no nothing like that." He says, "Now, why should I pay some white boy from Canada uh, all this money when I can get Quincy Jones, Jerry Hay?" And he starts naming off all these great arrangers.
Mm, yep.
And I, I thought at the time, I thought, I'm going to soil myself here. It's like I'm trying to keep a nice exterior, but he's like seriously put me on. And I stared at him for what seemed like 5 minutes, but I'm sure it was only 15 or 20 seconds. I said, "Those are those are my fees. That's what I get." And he stared back at me for what seemed like 10 minutes. And he looked at me and said, "Okay." He just tried to shake me down, because Rick had a habit of calling me way early. Like, he'd call me and say, "Okay, man, we're ready for you. We're ready for you." And I go, "You sure, Rick? You sure?" You go, "Yeah, man, we're ready. We're ready." I get down there and we spend 2 months
Oh,
hanging
man.
around, going nice places. We went to the premiere for The Wiz. That's how
Oh,
long ago it was. Yeah, with Quincy and Michael Jackson, all them.
oh, that'd be cool.
Uh, but where was I in it? Yeah. So, geez, I forgot what I was saying. I'm gonna
Well,
talk this out.
Rick has called you down there and he's not ready.
Oh yeah, he's not ready. So I'm explaining why, because I'm sure that the invoices they were getting at Motown was like, what? It got to him anyway. So he went to like, well, why are we paying you all this money? I mean, I've got like I'm a first call studio musician, an arranger, and producer. If I come to spend 2 months with you in LA,
It's constant.
we'll have a great time, but I'm going to miss 2 months of income,
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have to explain that. I just left it. I'm not going to get into that with him. I'm just going to say, no, that's what I make. So, anyway, that was a defining moment because
Yeah. Yeah.
had I caved in and went, okay, I'll charge you less,
Yep.
that wouldn't have worked for too long.
No, not at all. You probably wouldn't have got anything.
Yeah, yeah. So
No, that's
anyway,
interesting. I love that. That's a great way to end, Peter. That's a
isn't
super story.
it?
Don't cave when the pressure's on.
Don't cave. Be true to yourself. Do what you know you do, and that's it.
Oh my goodness. And have you said that like no other. Well, Peter, I was going to say I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Hopefully we'll have another one because I was going to say it is so interesting to hear. You started at 5 on an accordion and you haven't stopped. Like it's
Yeah,
just kind of amazing. So with that, I was going to say we'll probably I'll put your record company actually on the description for the thing if people are looking for someone to work with maybe or potentially. That's kind of a
yeah,
cool thing.
sure,
You're
sure.
super busy from the exchanges that we've had over the last few months,
Yeah,
but that's really good too. So
yeah.
with that, Peter, I'm going to say, and I'm going to actually say to you, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast in
I certainly have.
understanding some of the background that goes on behind making music. And like Peter started with, being a musician, it sits in there with some of these stories that we have of athletes and the other, shall we say, um, performers in the entertainment world. There's an
Yeah,
awful lot that goes on behind what we get to see as the finished product in a song, in a movie, whatever it is. So
yeah.
with that, Peter, I'll say goodbye. I thank you so much for your time today. This has been a super conversation.
Listen, I had a really great time, and let's do it again. Sure.
Oh no, for
Anytime.
sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, with that, stay on for a minute. And I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for listening to Better Than Not today. Bye now.
Thank you.
Are we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not.